it's time to talk about the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. It was an interesting day for Team Nigeria, or for the Super Falcons of Nigeria, getting a narrow win against the Banyana Banyana of South Africa, the defending champions. Nigeria scored a dramatic stoppage-time winner to beat defending champions 2-1 and book their place in Saturday's final of the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Alozie's delivery from deep into the box eluded Banyana Banyana keeper Andile Lamini in the 94th minute to keep alive the West African hopes of securing a record-extending 10th continental title. The Super Falcons had led in Casablanca through Rasheedat Ajibade's penalty on the stroke of halftime after Bambanani Mbane was penalized for handling Folashade Jamilusi's shot. But the holders fought back in the second half and leveled on the hour mark through a composed Linda Motlhalo sport kick. The Nigerian side, moved on and pushed, of course, for the South Africans. It was the same, but at the end of the day, it was Alozie who got that final goal that pushed Nigeria to the finals of the competition. By the way, Gabriel Salgado, with 6 minutes remaining, appeared to be heading to extra time, got into a tackle that, ensured she could not continue in that game. And the likes of Justin Madugu, Desiree Ellis are talking about that match, why Justin Madugu sees the potential of winning a 10th title. For Desiree Ellis, she feels that her team deserve to be in the final. Looking at what she said about chances they created. Let's get to hear from them.
We showed today why we're the champions. We showed today 120 minutes. We didn't look like a team that had gone 120 minutes. We gave it as good as they gave it. And I think if you look at yesterday, that first couple of minutes was exchanges. Andile, I think, made a double save. But after that, we had the better chances. And we said it's going to come on one of those half chances that we had to take, and we didn't take it. And that kept them in the game as well. And then Jermaine had a chance, Hilda had a chance, not getting the goalkeeper to make a save, and then Knox had a chance. I think it was after 70 minutes when she had that chance, and the ball goes over the line. There's no way that we're losing this game, but it keeps them in the game. And then I'll say a freakish goal, because everybody missed it, even the goalkeeper missed it, and those are chances that you can't defend really, or those are crosses that you can't.
We're happy that we're still on course. We like I said, we came here with the ambition to make sure that we win the trophy, and we are still on course. So we're happy that we're still getting it right.
Coach Justin Madugu and Coach Desiree Ellis talking about the game, but joining us to talk about to review the game that went down in Casablanca is a journalist or an editor with Far Post in Johannesburg, South Africa. Mokosizi Dube joins us this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, and thank you very much for joining.
Good afternoon, Favor, and good afternoon to the viewers.
I'm pretty sure that it was not a good day in the office, and also a sad day for South Africans in South Africa and different parts of the world, knowing fully well that their hopes of getting or defending the title they won about 2022 was dented by Nigeria. But what's your take on the game? Do you think you share the sentiments from your coach that South Africa deserve to be in the final? They played better, or they should have got into the finals, or you feel it was Nigeria who had the very best of quality and experience to go through?
Look, I think it was a game of two halves. I think in the first half, Nigeria had, the control. And then in the second half, we saw Banyana, come out, and I think they had a better second half. And I think the deciding moment for me would have been that injury to Gabriela Salgado, because after that injury, I don't think the players, were able to sort of quickly bounce back and get over it and play football. You also look at the goal that they conceded. It's just an unfortunate goal. But look, when you also look at how Nigeria have played in this competition, they had not considered a goal until the semi-final. So that tells you that they've done extremely well. So they deserve to go through to the final.
All right, let me come to Jidechi Chideze. Jidechi, you're a Nigerian, and I'm sure you're pretty happy and excited that Nigeria is through. But let's look at the game critically. the game, like Mokosizi said, is a game of two halves. I don't know if you share the same thoughts, but we had two penalty calls in the first, and then the equalizer from the South Africans. At the end of the day, it was a long-range cross or lob by Alozie, who got that goal and ensured Nigeria go pull through to the finals. Where do you think the game was won by Nigeria?
Well, I think I need to give credit to the South Africans. I think on the day, they really did put out a solid performance, so solid that at some point I thought that the Super Falcons were going to lose the game. In terms of where the game was lost, I think the injury to Salgado was everything. It changed the balance of the final minutes of the game. I was having this conversation with someone yesterday. I did think the referee should have given more additional minutes. We had just 6 minutes of additional time after the injury to Salgado, and we got into the added minutes period. I did think the referee should have given more minutes. At least he should have helped the balance of the game. I think, personally, I did think maybe she was expecting it to go into extra time. I, too, was expecting it to go into extra time. But somehow, out of nowhere, a goal came, and that was the decider. But on the day, I think the South African team had a very decent play. It was such a cruel way to get knocked out of the competition. But again, they did meet a Nigerian side that had been solid all competition. Imagine going how many matches without conceding. Even the goal they did concede yesterday was not from open play, but a set piece goal. So it's a game that did show how solid Nigeria has been and why Nigeria possibly is the best deserving nation to go all the way to the final, to the trophy instead, and not just the final. But again, the competition is not yet done. There's still Morocco to face. But yesterday's game, it was a very balanced game. I think one of South Africa's best performances in the competition so far. Nigeria not really there, but it's also that thing that shows that a side is pretty much experienced in as much as you might not really come up to the play. You still take those little chances you can get, and you get something out of it to get the needed result. I think that's just what we watched yesterday. Nigeria, a very experienced side that used the little chances they could. South Africa did step up to try to show that they are also deserving to be in the stage of the competition. It was a great game that unfortunately was mad the way it finished, but at the end of the day, I'm Nigerian. I'm happy we got the win.
All right, the Nigerian happy there. But let's introduce another Nigerian, but this time around a woman who I'm sure she's also excited for where she is. Itoro Jimmy joins us from Abuja. Itoro, when I spoke with you some days ago, I mean, on the show, the Mission X, I mean, at a point in time, we're going to name it Miracle X, or Mission Impossible, whatever mission you, but now Mission X is looking likely to happen because, of course, Nigeria is one game away from that trophy. What do you make of the performance? Do you also think that Desiree Ellis, who has been having mixed results for playing Nigeria. She played against Thomas Denebi in 2018. In 2022, she played against Randy Waldrum. And now in 2025, she played against Justin Madugu. Do you think that also affected her understanding of what to expect from the Nigerian side, knowing that 3 coaches have played against her?
Well, Favor, once again, I'm happy that we're talking about the Super Falcons and, of course, talking about them right now that they have, advanced to the final. Playing against Randy Waldrum and Thomas Denebi, for Desiree Ellis, I think for me, I'll say yes. She's playing against an indigenous coach, so we say. Being a player herself that has played against the Super Falcons and being the coach, it's been quite interesting. I mean, she's had quite an interesting journey. Yes, quite an experience, but then again, I don't want to take it away from Justin Madugu because he's been a very, very brilliant coach so far. We've seen that his substitutions, we've seen that his lineup, in this tournament has been quite commendable. He's been able to read each game. Each game they've played in this tournament, he's been able to read them properly. And I want to bet you that going into the semi-final, playing against South Africa with the pedigree of players they have, and again, they're knowing fully well that they are actually the defending champion. It's not something that you take lightly. You will go in there, preparing your players, not just physically but also mentally. I think it wasn't so easy for the coach of South Africa to read the Super Falcons squad. we have a couple of young players who are playing in this team right now, so it wasn't that easy for her. But then again, she was really prepared. We saw a South African team yesterday that came in to defend their title with everything they've got. And fortunately, of course, the Super Falcons are through to the final. And I must give it to them. They really played well. They came prepared. Okay. They came prepared. The Super Falcons worked for it. Yes, they really worked for this victory.
All right, Mokozizi Dube, let me come to you now. Desiree Ellis has been with the squad even before, just a bit before 2018 or till now. She's gotten a final finish in 2018, the trophy also in 2022. Do you think she's still the right woman for the job for the Banyana Banyana, or maybe someone else should come in after nearly getting to the finals?
Look, I think Desiree Ellis has done a fantastic job with this group of players. And I think she understands the group, the team. She's been with the team since 2018 as a permanent coach. And I think it's important for Safa to continue with her. Obviously, we didn't have Tembi Khatlana in this particular competition. It's very important, I think. We didn't have quite a few other, players. And now with, I think, Jermaine Sioposine saying that this is her last competition, she's not going to continue with the team. I think it's important for them to just maintain that so that she is able to bring in, young players to sort of continue from where Banyana have left off. And getting into a semi-final, I think it's a massive thing, although we would have loved to get to a final and possibly retain the WAFCON.
All right, I just remembered also the men's AFCON. Nigeria did defeat South Africa to go all the way and then get into the finals against the host nation. But I don't want to predict whatever will happen. I just want this to be different. But nevertheless, I want to come straight now to our sports correspondent who has been giving us updates all the way from Morocco. She's been with the team from the beginning of the tournament till now, and they're in the finals of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Onyechi Obaro joins us this afternoon. Onyechi, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you so much, Favor. This conversation will not be complete without me coming into the party, so let's get to it.
I don't want to ask how you spent your night, because I know the night will be wonderful and lovely, but tell us, what's the mood in Morocco? Nigerians in Morocco, what are they saying? How optimistic are they? Are they seeing the trophy already, the color of the trophy? What's happening in Morocco?
A lot is happening in Morocco, Favor. In fact, they have changed the capital of Nigeria to Rabat, because they say if they dominated Casablanca from the group stage to the quarterfinal and semi-final, they will dominate Rabat in the final. Forget if Morocco is the host nation and they have to face Morocco in the final. The fans are really happy. The fans have been the Super Falcons' backbone from the onset of this competition, the kickoff of this competition, till the semi-final against the defending champions. They have been chanting songs, giving them cheers. They were even in solidarity with South Africa after the injury of Gabriela Salgado. They were able to give her a standing ovation, clap for her, and then chant her name as she was stretched out of the pitch. So the Nigerian fans have been really wonderful. They have been clamoring that maybe the tickets should be made free for them so they can garner more of the supporters into the stadium when they face Morocco, because you know that the Super Falcons will be playing against the 12th man. They've got fans. Morocco has got fans. So we want to also respond with our own fans. So every single one of them is a 6 hours drive from Casablanca to Rabat. But these fans are not worried about that. They would have to and fro 12 hours from Casablanca to Rabat for this final. They are ready for it. They said we are prepared for this. We've been carrying this team all the way from the group stage to the semi-final. We will not leave them in the final of this competition. So the fans are really pumped up and have 100% support for the Super Falcons, Favor.
One right there. I mean, you've given us what to expect, especially from the journey from Casablanca to Rabat. Guys, before we move on, before I let you all go, let's look at the final. I mean, Ghana did try to do an upset, but of course it didn't happen. The finals ended 4-2 on penalties, but it's going to be a Morocco-Nigeria final. Now, the last time Nigeria, played a host nation was in 2016 in Cameroon when Desire Okwalanozie got that goal against a packed crowd in Cameroon. And this time around, they come up against Morocco. Let me start with Jidechi, 30 seconds. Jidechi, Nigeria against Morocco, playing against the host, the 12th man on the day. What are the chances of Nigeria or what are the chances of Morocco?
I mean, there are 4 Nigerians here right now. I think the feeling should be the same. After what we experienced with Cote d'Ivoire at the last AFCON, I'm not sure we all want to face the host nation, but it is what it is. I want to believe in the quality of the girls and the fact that they can get this job done. Host nation or not, they've shown that they are a very solid side. They've shown that they are a very decent side. So I want to trust in them more than anything else.
Come to the South African in our midst. I mean, don't be scared. I mean, Nigerians do not bite, but I want to ask you, but you also need to talk about your 3rd place match, South Africa against Ghana, then Morocco against Nigeria. What should we expect?
Nigeria, I would put my money on Nigeria. I mean, considering how they've played, to this stage, I think they've shown that they have hunger. They want to win it, So I'll put my money on Nigeria, and then the 3rd and 4th place playoff. Obviously, South Africa will win that one.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we could stick with you or maybe the Ghanaians, because Ghanaians are closer to us. But whatever it is, I know whoever wins, the best thing wins. Itoro Jimmy, Nigeria against Morocco, it's not going to be easy. A lot of persons are already saying on the streets that the Moroccans pass the ball well, but some are saying they are a second half team. If Nigeria can get the job done in the first half, maybe that's their title.
Have actually practiced this penalty kick, and they are very good, like you said, in the second 45 minutes. The last time we actually met Morocco in the Nations Cup was when we played against them the semi-finals in the last edition, and it extended to the penalty shootout, which of course they knocked us out in the semis where we got to go play Zambia in the 3rd place match. So this time around, I just want the Super Falcons to finish, in regulation time, and that's it. If the Super Falcons can do that, definitely this would save us a whole lot of hassles.
All right, Onyechi, I know that you will say that, I know where the angle you are going to go, but let's look at it now critically. Against Morocco, the lasers will be there. I mean, for our players to be distracted. The fans will be there to, chant and shout for joy and a lot of things. Then our players, I mean, some are saying, when they play against teams that are good passers of the ball, they struggle to convert their chances. We saw that against South Africa, against the Moroccan side, that they just need 1 or 2 chances to score. What do you think? What do you think the ladies can do or do better to be able to get a Mission X title? That's the title.
I think the girls should be able to convert their chances, take every chance they've got, and then convert their chances. This time around,
All right, it seems we lost connections with Onyechi Obaro, but I must say a big thank you to our gentleman and lady in the house for coming on to talk about the very best of women's football. I must say a big thank you to you, Mukosizi Dube. Thank you very much for joining. Itoro Jimmy, thank you very much for joining on today's edition of In the Game.